Have you ever found yourself scrolling through social media, seeing someone else's life and thinking, if only I had that, I'd be happy? A bigger house, a better job, more followers. We've all been there. It is this endless chase for a more that reminds me of a profound Japanese folk story called The Stonecutter. It's a timeless tale about the cycle of desire, and it might just change the way you see your own life. High in the mountains of Japan, there lived a humble stonecutter. Every single day, he would climb the mountain and chisel away at the hard rock under the blistering sun. It was tough, back-breaking work, and he often dreamed of an easier life. One scorching afternoon, exhausted and wiping sweat from his brow, he looked down into the valley. He saw a wealthy merchant glide by in a magnificent carriage, shaded by a servant holding a golden umbrella. "Oh," the stonecutter sighed with envy. "If only I could be a rich merchant. I would be free from all this toil and worry. Everyone would respect me." And just like that, with a shimmer of magic, his wish was granted. Suddenly, he was the merchant, dressed in fine silks, riding in that grand carriage. He was admired, he was comfortable, but his happiness was surprisingly short-lived. He soon felt the intense heat of the sun beating down, making him sweat even under his fancy umbrella. He looked up and realized that the sun was far more powerful than he was. It could scorch the entire earth. "How foolish I am to be a merchant," he cried. "I wish I were the mighty sun, for the sun is the most powerful thing in the world." In a flash, his wish came true again. He became the sun, blazing down with fire and light. He scorched the fields and dried up the rivers. He felt immense power. But then, a thick, dark cloud drifted in front of him, blocking his light completely. The cloud unleashed a torrential storm, and he, the mighty sun, could do nothing to stop it. "The cloud is mightier than I am," he grumbled. "I wish I were the cloud, to reign supreme over everything." And so he was transformed into a massive storm cloud. He poured down rain, flooding the valleys and raging across the land. He felt unstoppable. But as he surged forward, he slammed into something that wouldn't budge. It was a giant, unmoving rock, the very mountain where he used to work. No matter how much rain he poured or how hard his winds blew, the rock stood firm, unyielding. "This is infuriating," the cloud roared. "The rock is mightier than the cloud. I wish to be the rock." His wish was granted one last time. He became the rock, standing tall and proud against the elements. He felt a sense of immense strength and permanence. Finally, he was the most powerful being. But his peace was soon disturbed. He felt a sharp, persistent tapping at his base. Tap, tap, tap. He looked down and saw a tiny, humble figure. It was a stonecutter, patiently chipping away at him with a hammer and chisel. With each steady strike, a small piece of the great rock broke away. In that moment, he had a profound realization. The persistent, humble stonecutter was mightier than the rock, and in a final flash of magic, he was returned to his original form. He was a simple stonecutter again, holding his familiar tools. But this time, everything was different. He looked at his hands, at his hammer and chisel, with a newfound respect. He understood that true power wasn't about being a merchant, the sun, or a cloud. True strength was in the persistence and dignity of his own work. He had been chasing an endless cycle of desire, only to discover that contentment wasn't out there somewhere. It was right here, in accepting and valuing who he already was. This story really makes you think, doesn't it? How often do we look outside ourselves for happiness, believing the next thing will be the thing that finally satisfies us? Maybe, like the stonecutter, the greatest power we have is appreciating the strength and value we already possess. Thank you so much for joining me on this little journey today. If this story resonated with you, please hit that like button and subscribe for more content that makes you think. I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. See you next time.